welcome, my bows and bow ties, to another chit chat with me. Let me bring myself up closer. I am the Black opinionated woman, also known as a bow. So I like to talk about three things: Black women, Black culture, and anything related to middle age. Maybe I should elevate this. I don't know. Can you see me? Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. This is like a total T enable T shot. Sorry. Okay, let's try this again. All right, so you guys know I typically don't come on the weekends, right? So, and I typically like to talk about certain things, but as a woman, this resonated with me just hearing about this Lia Thomas situation. I'll bring up the thumbnail again. There it is. All right, take a good look at that. Take a good look at that. So, all right, let me bring myself back up. I just literally decided to do this like about 10, 15 minutes ago, but I was having difficulty bringing up. Okay, there it is. I was having difficulty bringing up some of the videos that I wanted to show. Let me see. Let me see if I can remove this for a second and let me share my screen because I just wanted to talk about this for a second. Um, I, I guess for me, okay, I am going to let me bring myself up for a second. So, look, I want to talk about how I do think that Leah Thomas is, I think this is setting a negative precedent for women's sports. Um, yeah. So, this is the thing. It's unpopular, the things that I'm going to say, but that's what my channel is. I am the Black opinionated woman, and it's a safe space for where I can dissent. Is my channel. I can dissent. And if some other people would like to come up, they can dissent too. If they choose to want to engage and all this respectful, that's okay too. But I'm going to be honest. I'm really unhappy with these shenanigans that's going on. All right. So I want to play this video. What am I doing? Okay. So I cannot seem to do a good job. Y'all go ahead and like leave me alone. Let me see how that works. Can you guys see that pretty good? Okay. Let me put myself off to the side so I can get myself to. Oh, no, not like that. Sorry. All right. I'm going to play. I'm sorry. Let me just.
Gender athlete on an NCAA Division I men's team.
No, let me rewind this for a second. Get myself together. All right.
Lia Thomas, a transgender athlete assigned male at birth, dominated this weekend's women's swimming Ivy League championships, winning 3 individual events and smashing records. But does she have an unfair advantage in the pool after transitioning from male to female while in college? It's a debate that's dividing the swimming community and even her own teammates. Here's ABC's Juju Chang.
Lia Thomas will capture the win in the 200-yard freestyle.
Controversy along with victory, as transgender athlete Lia Thomas took home wins in the 100, 200, and 500-yard freestyle at the Ivy League Women's Championship over the weekend, shattering records along the way.
A new pool record, a new meet record.
Thomas, who was assigned male at birth, competed on UPenn's men's team for 3 seasons before undergoing 2 years of hormone therapy. Schuler Baylor, the first openly transgender athlete on an NCAA Division I men's team, calls Thomas.
All right, that guy was going to speak some shenanigans. So okay, let me bring myself back up. Okay, so I'm going to try to get through this and make it make sense in my own mind. Now, keep in mind, I did not do a whole lot of research as far as to set this live up. So I'm going pretty much off the cuff. First, I just want to say this is ruining women's sports. This is setting an unhealthy precedent moving forward. Now, this is what I think. Number one, let me put my little thing up here. Trans athletes should have a category of their own. I don't know if it should just be one category or 3 separate categories. And what do I mean by that? I don't know if it means that there should be just one category for trans persons, I don't know if it should be that and one for trans women and trans men. I don't know. I think a lot of this is unfolding, almost like real time. I do think that the lawmakers are trying to accommodate such a small portion of the population. That's not to say that people shouldn't have rights or accommodations or anything like that, but sometimes it has to pass the smell test too. Now, before I get into my other talking points, what I want to say is clearly, um, I should bring up I gotta bring this up again. No, no, where is this? Let me share this again. This person, because this is still a human being, this is a whole person. This person clearly is troubled. We're going to start there. And whether people want to agree with me or not, to feel as if you're in the wrong body and then you go through hormones and all these other things to change who you were at birth already lets me know that this is a troubled person to go to these lengths to feel as if you're in the wrong body. And, I've said in other videos, I've talked about all kinds of things, but I'm just kind of like, how could you possibly know what it feels like to be a woman? How can you feel like you just know you're in the wrong body and so you feel like you should be a woman? You've never been a woman. Now, there are going to be people who are going to take that last statement as far as you have never been a woman and say, well, she is a woman. I don't necessarily agree because I don't go through all of this splitting hairs with sex versus gender. Okay. And I get it. Society assigns certain roles or personalities or whatever to the sexes per se. But this is the thing. I don't get caught up in that. A person who doesn't even want to be who they are, that already lets me know this is a very troubled person. Now, let's get back to my points. Let's start with I just feel like Leah Thomas cheated. I feel that Leah Thomas cheated. Now, when I say cheated, I'm not talking about breaking laws or taking some sort of banned substance. That's not what I mean. I feel like Leah Thomas cheated because Leah Thomas never had to train as a woman going through puberty. There's a whole host of things that comes with becoming a woman, right? There's a lot of chemical changes, physical changes. Some people have the girly pains that's associated with it, which alters the way you would train. It alters even, I would say, down to maybe even your performance. Um, I believe in one of my previous videos, I talked about Danielle Collins. She's one of the American tennis players who suffered from endometriosis, and it really affected the way she trained, how she felt, her performance. Once she got, I guess she got some sort of surgery or something like that, you could see her performance just now. There's a lot of things that could be attributed to her performance, but I'm going by what she tells me. The pains and all the things like she's like it altered her training and all these other things. So when I say that Leah Thomas has cheated, I really feel like Leah Thomas had the luxury of going through puberty as a male, bigger lung capacity, um, I don't know, muscle development. Um, I don't know, right? Like I'm not a doctor, so I'm sure somebody's gonna want to take that and run with it. Um, Hello, Qwerty Spears. But I felt like this is a cheating situation. Leah Thomas never had to learn how to run with girls. Okay. Leah Thomas never had to show up to a practice with, I don't know, some sort of girly menstrual pains or whatever, right? Leah Thomas had the luxury of developing with testosterone, right? Had the luxury of developing stronger muscles bigger muscles, bigger lungs. Um, I don't know, whatever. Leah Thomas did not have to learn what it's like to come through a woman's adversity when playing sports, as far as the physicality, the things that go on, down to how you manage your monthly cycles. What can you take, to take care of that? What is legal? What is not legal? How do you manage? Some people have flow issues and all kinds of stuff. People are, women got all kinds of things going on. Women have back issues if they've got big ones up top, right? How do you run with the girls? Now, I say all that tongue in cheek, but what I'm saying is Leah Thomas never had to deal with any of those things, never had to deal with those kinds of things and fine tune her craft. I don't really consider Leah Thomas a woman, to be honest, and people are going to want to be mad. You're allowed to be mad. I'm allowed to have my opinion. But so, yes, I felt like Leah Thomas cheated. Leah Thomas had the luxury of experiencing life as an athlete, as a man. I still feel like Leah Thomas is a man, whether we want to admit it or not. I think the far left has gone cuckoo. There is no reasoning with the far left. Sometimes you have to use common sense. Sometimes you have to call a thing a thing. This is nonsense. Pure shenanigans. All the way shenanigans. Leah Thomas cheated. So let me just say this. What was my point? I wrote down a couple of points. When I say that, when I talk about men and their physicality, it's not that I think that women are lesser human beings, right? But we are different. We're different. The fact of the matter is, most women are built and cut differently from men, even the strongest of us, unless you're like some, edge case. But what this is happening is this is just wrong on so many levels. And I'm going to be honest, most of you who are out there who are like, Leah Thomas is a woman, you can miss me all the way. You can't tell me just because you grew out your hair and you decided for 30 plus months to gobble down some medication like their Tic Tacs or get injected or whatever, however you're getting your medication, that this now qualifies you as a woman. And so what happens is people want to start splitting hairs, discussing the difference between sex and gender. Miss me all the way. Leah Thomas is built like a man, all the way like a man. I feel like, you know, what Leah Thomas did when I say that Leah Thomas cheated, even the way Leah Thomas started out as a male swimmer, right? So Leah Thomas didn't even have to compete for a female slot in the beginning. But because Leah Thomas has transitioned, there's no competition. It's like this person was just given a right. Or maybe I got it wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. But now Leah Thomas didn't even have to compete for the position, right? Just got the position, as far as I understand. And it wasn't like Leah Thomas had to compete on admissions to get this position. So that's why I say Leah Thomas cheated. Like I said, Leah Thomas circumvented puberty. So had the luxury of enjoying the effects of testosterone and whatever else that makes Leah Thomas biologically male, okay, was able to get bigger, stronger, faster, and now has decided I want to be a woman. They cheated that process. She cheated that process from an emission standpoint, from a puberty standpoint. Leah Thomas never, ever had to learn to train as a woman. Leah Thomas learned to train as a man and transition to the woman, and that's completely different. I'm going to even bring up this troll. Go ahead, you can be a troll. It's all right, I said what I said. So Lia Thomas, regardless of how people want to slice it, is still a man. There's no amount of hormone suppressant that's going to change that. It's not. The chromosomes are still going to say XY. So I say it's dangerous for women. And now I'm going to tell you about this precedent. This is a precedent right now where you have one trans woman coming in, taking up positions that biologically women have trained hard for. So I can see this becoming a precedent. I can see this becoming a precedent. I can see now a whole bunch of trans women coming in and taking up all the slots. I think there should be a category because sometimes we have to use common sense. And let me just say this for those of you who are joining me late. When I see this person, this is a deeply troubled person. And so I have compassion for the person because this is still a human being. So, regardless of how you want to identify, whatever you go by, right? Sometimes facts are still facts. Facts are facts. Lia Thomas is a man, and there's no amount of lipstick, hair growing, and gobbling medication like it's Tic Tacs that's going to change that. It's not going to change it. I don't care how many times you guys want to break apart the difference between sex and gender. Lia Thomas is a man. Now, call Lia Thomas on what? Like, I'm going to tell you, if I have to call her a woman, I'll call her a woman. Do I believe she's a woman? Nope. All the way no. And it's okay. It's okay. I see you guys out there. I get it. I mean, y'all control me. It's all right. It's all right. We have to be able to speak from both sides. So for people who are trans, I get it. People want to have a voice. There's nothing wrong with having a voice. But with that, you have to be willing for people to also express their views too. You can't expect people to suppress their views. I can be respectful. The fact of the matter is, it is what it is. Lia Thomas is still a man. Lia Thomas is a biological man. So Lia Thomas cheated that process. And I'm going to say it again. Lia Thomas never had to learn how to train as a woman. Never. Lia Thomas learned the craft as a man and had the luxury of what testosterone can do for your body. Bigger muscles, stronger muscles, faster muscles, all that kind of stuff. It is what it is. I think that when people get so emotionally caught up into their social causes, because everybody's in their feelings about something. Everybody has a cause. I get it. Everybody's in their feelings about something. I get it. And so everybody's got a cause and a movement. And so this is what I would say to people out there. You have to separate having compassion for people who are deeply troubled, right? And if you want to identify as something else, I say identify as whatever you want to identify as. A cat, a woman, a fox, whatever gets you off. How you identify is how you identify. It doesn't change facts. Doesn't change facts. And on top of that, like I said, when a person goes through such lengths to want to change the way they were born, that lets me know this person is deeply troubled. When a person can say, I feel like a woman, how can you tell me what it feels like to be a woman when you never were? I don't care about all these splitting hairs with sex versus gender says. You were never a woman. So how can you tell me you feel like a woman? And then the thing that tickles me the most, I say tickle just be tongue in cheek, is what part of womanhood do you identify with, right? Because see, if we're talking about gender expression, we talk about how like all of these things like this and this, right? All these things are things that are synonymous with being a woman, right? These are just like things that these are like outward characteristics that society says, right? Things that say like we should probably do our nails and apply makeup and all these things, right? Those are some of the societal constructs, right? If those things are societal, then my question is, if you feel like a woman, why are you choosing those things? Because you're saying that's not what makes you a woman. So then my question is, well, what is womanhood then? Because see, first of all, you can't really know what it is because you've never been one. Number two, if those things that why are you selecting the most performative things of womanhood? When you say that you are trans, why can't you stay in your same body? Those things, you say those things don't make you a woman, right? Then why is it that the very same things that you say that don't make you a woman are the very first things that people run to for womanhood? The most performative things. So, I mean, even let's look at like Bruce Jenner. The first thing Bruce Jenner did was grow out hair and apply all this makeup and started wearing dresses and wearing nail polish and everything else. But see, those things are what make women women, right? And yet that's one of the first things he did or she did, Caitlyn Jenner. So to me, I'm just kind of like, it kills me that people want to pick the most performative parts of womanhood, dresses and heels and makeup and softening of the voice and playing with the hair, growing the hair out. And I don't know. Why pick the most performative things of womanhood? Because that all that does is reaffirm to me that maybe trans women who were never men don't know what womanhood is then. So all they can do is run to the most performative things of womanhood that don't make you a woman, right? So getting back to Leah Thomas cheating her way, I feel like this. Everyone wants to go ahead and pull out all the exceptions to the rules. I'm like, and if you got to prove the exceptions, all you're doing is proving to me you know, the rule. You don't see trans men excelling in men's sports. At least I haven't. I find it interesting that men who transition into women come into women's sports and then they're setting records and knocking women out in MMA fights. See, like I said, this is setting a negative precedent because now all you need is a bunch of trans women going into all the women's sports and setting records. And so there was the whole reason I said Title 10 last time. I think it's Title 9, so my apologies. The whole reason for that was so that women could have a place where they can compete in sport. Let me tell you something. When I was in college, I was only Division 3 because I went to school for academics. I was an engineer, still am. When I went to college to run, I was running track. It was cold. I went to college. I can't even make this up. I was a freshman and I weighed 97 pounds. That was kind of fast though. And they were looking at me and they said, "How are you running? Like your head is like a bobblehead on this like tiny neck. You're so small." And they sent me to go work out with the men. And the men were like, "Oh." And I struggled because I had to gain about, I gained about, I think it was like 11 pounds. I got up to 112 pounds my freshman year. I had to put on muscle mass. I went to go work out with the men because with the women, it was just completely different, right? Well, we're all in college, everybody's at their fittest and their finest and their best. But I had to go work out with the men. They were like, we've got to like, you're not strong enough. And trying to keep up with the men, it was just ridiculous. But they had to help me get to the point where I can put on some pounds, right? I was still small. The point I'm making was what the men were doing, because remember, we had the football team and everybody else in there. And then what the women were doing were two different worlds, two different muscle group. Like it was just like shenanigans. I was in there like, I'm sure you can see, I'm like struggling, like, ugh, struggling. Now, eventually, I actually wound up doing well, and I actually performed. Um, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I need to put up all the things. I don't know what you guys are saying. I'll just let you guys do your little trolling thing because apparently you need attention. There's a lot of people who want some attention. So I don't know what this means, Kinder, too. I'm not quite sure what you meant by that. Whatever. So, but I'm going to get back to my point. Leah Thomas cheated. I don't know how Leah Thomas could possibly say that she felt like she was in the wrong body, like she was a woman. What is womanhood? You don't know what. How can you possibly say you feel like something you never were? You can't feel like something you never were. That's like saying, um, I know what it's like to be a twin. I mean, I don't know. That's a bad example. It's such a bad example. We can go on racial things like if you've never experienced racial discrimination, that's probably not even the same thing. The point is, I'm just kind of like, you never were. So you can't tell me that you now feel like a woman because you don't know what that feels like, right? Let me take this off so you guys can see me. Well, no, this is fine. You don't know what a woman feels like. You got people who'll say like womanhood is not based off of, all these exterior things. I'm like, but yet trans women, the first thing they do is they go and try to perform all those things of womanhood that society has said. The very same thing that they say that doesn't make a woman is the first thing that is being used for womanhood. What am I misunderstanding? I'm sure there's quite a bit. So anyway, Leah Thomas cheated it. She cheated. She didn't grow up learning how to be, a tip-top athlete as a woman. She did it as a man with a man's body, man's muscles and strength and speed. Miss me. Now, since then, she has since lost races. I even call into question her losing the races. Okay. I believe that they might have been thrown. I think there's a bigger agenda here. There's a bigger agenda here. See, trans women aren't winning all of the races. I'm like, you can't tell me Leah Thomas was blowing people out by 5 seconds in the race, and all of a sudden it's like, I just had a bad race. Miss me. See, you're not going to gaslight me. You're not going to gaslight me. All the way miss me. So the way I look at it is this. Do I have any points on here? Not really, because whatever. The left has gone cuckoo, okay? Because it doesn't matter what you say. If you don't agree lock, stock, and barrel on everything, you are a phobe of everything. And that's not true. I am not scared of trans women, trans men. I don't know why I would need to be. I mean, unless are they violent? I don't know. Maybe. Well, should I be? I don't know. Someone explain to me. Should I be scared of trans people? Why would I be scared of trans people? I don't care. I care if it's going to take away an opportunity for someone. I'm like, you do have a category. You chose not to participate in it. That was a choice. But whether you say it wasn't or not, I just feel like that's still a choice. Maybe not one that you like. It is a choice. So now I don't want to compete in my category. I want to compete in this. I'm like, come on. Anyway, so you can be in support of a group of people being able to express themselves however they want to identify. That is separate from saying this isn't right. We didn't get it right here. And the left can go as left and cuckoo as they want. They are allowed to be cuckoo, all the way cuckoo. It's not going to change the way I think. You can call me names, whatever. I'm like, all right, whatever. It is what it is. I'm still not going to change the way I think because I don't think that's right. It's not right. If you want to express yourself, express yourself. I don't care how much makeup you want to put on and growing your hair out and getting your nails done and how many dresses you want to wear. I don't care. But this is wrong. You can't walk around looking like full on Bruce Jenner, even though he transitioned into Caitlyn, still looks like mannish to me, but that's a whole other issue. Same thing with Lia Thomas, still sounds like a man, looks like a man, built like a man. And now you're like, I want to compete with women. There's got to be a special sickness going on where you can get off on being a full-on man wanting to compete in a women's sport and then blow up all the records. Ah, yeah, I did that. I'm like, did you? Did you really? And this is how you want your glory? Like I said, I think when you are in a situation where you wake up every day and you don't like your body, you don't like how you were born, what am I supposed to do with that? Hello, Derek M. It's wrong. It is wrong. It's all the way wrong. Was it Kinder? It's wrong. So I'm not here for it. I'm just not here for it. So like I said, I'm going to let all the cuckoos, because I call them cuckoos. Yes, I said it. I said it. All these people who are out here who are like, she's still a woman. No, she's not. No, she's not. I will call her a woman if she wants me to call her, but I just want you to understand. Let me make myself very all the way clear. Lia Thomas is an all the way man with XY chromosomes, with stuff that's swinging and just a swinging and a swinging. Unless she had the surgery, you got this balls and peeing just out there doing things. And Lia Thomas cheated. I said it, I'm going to say it again. Lia Thomas cheated. Not only did Lia Thomas didn't have to compete for that spot for a woman, right? She transitioned into that spot. That's my understanding. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. So that's why I have my little ticker up there. Everything's alleged until it's proven to be true or untrue. I don't know. All my opinion. But look, she cheated. She cheated it. She didn't have to compete for that admission slot. And then what she did was she lived as a he, honed his craft as a he with testosterone, okay, bigger muscles, faster, stronger, everything, and then decided, I want to be a woman. Miss me. All right, that's it. I should probably get out of here. I mean, there's other things I could have said. There's things I want to say. I think I said it all. I mean, because I'm just repeating myself at this point. The left has gone crazy. And I will say this. I just want to hone in on this one more time. I just said it, but I think it's really important. Anyone out there, I call it, was it the alphabet community? Let me say something. You have to be willing to accept that people aren't going to always agree. And just because they don't agree doesn't mean they are a phobe. Check that. Just because people don't agree doesn't mean they're a phobe. I don't feel like I should be scared of anybody who's gay or trans. I don't know the difference between what a queer person is. I don't know what that really means in terms of the gay and queer. I don't know, whatever. But the point I'm making is I have no fear of people in the alphabet community. None. Unless you give me reason to be fearful. Should I be fearful? Because I really don't care what you do behind closed doors. And you don't need to worry about what I'm doing behind closed doors. But what I do care is when we make these decisions that don't make sense. And then what happens is if anybody offers up an opinion in dissension, oh, you are a phobe. Miss me. All right, let me get off of here because that's it. Bye.